What we have here today is a designer gray Casablanca Delta 2, 4-blade only, from 1986. The first year for Casablanca's weird finishes. If you know me, or any of my tastes, you'll know that I am not a fan of Delta 2s. Mainly because they're plebeian and common and stupid. You'll also, if you really know me, you'll also know that I have a couple of exceptions when it comes to Delta 2s and also Panamas. The first one, and the one that applies here, is rare finishes. Now, when I say weird finishes, I also mean rare because they did not sell in high numbers. Either that or went out of style very quickly and were promptly discarded. So, yeah. I have here a designer gray Delta 2. Like I said, it is 4-blade only. 1988 is when they went 5 or 4 or 5-blade. Or when everything Casablanca went 4 or 5-blade. But, yeah. This one's 4-blade only. It is the first year for the rare finishes, like I said. And the second year overall for the Delta 2. Well, you're going to see it, but yeah, I don't think you're going to see it too well here. There's the tag. Might be able to make out the serial number. It's CB141313D. 13 was the finish code for designer gray. It was made in November of 1986. Has that lovely recalled hanger that everyone loves for various reasons. And yeah. So now let's see how it performs. Oh, crap. Forgot it was Casablanca for a second there and that they are low, medium, high. Okay. This is one of the bits of backlog that I have, which is becoming extremely extensive to the point where I have a good year's worth of backlog to deal with. And yeah, this Delta 2 I acquired at Fanimation back in the fall of 2017. A friend of mine, well actually, on my way home from Indianapolis, I was going to pick this up because it was not far off of my route home. Well, as it turns out, another collector living nearby picked it up before I did. So, he, for whatever reason, decided to sell it at Fanimation, and of course I scarfed it up because cheap and I was going to get it anyway. Yeah. Now, I've just realized why it was so cheap. One of the blade irons was negatively out of clock, meaning it had been reduced in pitch. The fan had been running in reverse, or clockwise rotation. Something hit one of the blades, and knocked it out of clock negatively, reducing the blade pitch. When blade irons go out of clock, they're either really easy to fix, or your worst fucking nightmare to fix. Some irons are very flexible, whereas others are extremely brittle, and once they bend, they're not going back. Lady Deltas are like that. Fasco, American Spirits, Savannahs, and similar are also like that. Because, yeah, once they bend, they don't want to go back. They will snap. These irons, the ones for the Delta 2 at least, are relatively pliable. To the point where if they bend, you will probably be able to bend them back. And in general, when an iron goes negatively out of clock versus positively, which is more common, when it goes negatively out of clock, right, they're easier to fix. Much easier to fix. So, I knocked it back in the clock, and it seems to have worked. Which makes me happy, because finding a new iron in designer gray is not gonna be easy. Anyway, let's go to... Actually, first, do an under the fan shot. Let's go to medium. The fan runs pretty well. Bearings are pretty decent, bordering on average for its age. And as you can see, my bending of the iron back, bending back of the blade iron, was successful in that there's no wobble. There's nothing. Now let's go to high. I believe the motor in this one is Astrosyn, not Emerson. Because in the mid-80s, around like 85, 86, they were experimenting with different motors. Well, mid to late 80s, really. Or mid-80s into the early 90s, yeah, they were experimenting with motor types other than Emerson. In the mid-80s, they tried Astrosyn, that didn't last very long. In the late 80s and early 90s, they tried Samsung, which, again, did not last very long. And apparently Samsung's IntelliTouch motors were not particularly reliable. Some of them had fire issues, some things flaming out. Not really sure exactly what was going on there, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, this one's Astrosyn, which is relatively reliable. Yeah, damn near wobble free. Let's let it coast. And yeah, the bearings are actually very good. In general, the fan's in decent shape. The blades, due to their age, maybe a little bit of moisture exposure, the paint's starting to like chip a little bit with like those little vertical lines through the paint. The paint's starting to crack, which is typical with fans of this age. So, in the earliest blade finishes here, I think actual high gloss came later, and these ones were just semi-gloss. So, that's what these are. And there you have it. One of my rare exceptions to the Delta II rule, a designer gray model from 1986.